What a nice day.
What a nice day.
Ah, what a nice day. Alright, it's been a while since I've had a great opinion, so today, we're gonna change that. We all know how the Mario sports games on the Nintendo Switch have fallen off in quality drastically. However, the downfall began way before that, with some people arguing that this game, Mario Sports Mix, was the start of that downfall. However, I disagree. I think this game is actually pretty good and holds a lot of value. So today, this video will be talking about why I think that is. Are you guys ready? Sounds great. But first, for those unaware, Mario Sports Mix is a game that is a collaboration between Nintendo and Square Enix. Yes, that's Square Enix, the one that published Harvest Ella. The game combines 4 sports in one package, with basketball, volleyball, dodgeball, and hockey, featuring all of your favorite Mario characters and some Final Fantasy characters too. This game came out relatively late in the Wii cycle, meaning a lot more eyes were on Nintendo's supposed new console than this game. However, those eyes that did look at this game regretted doing so, as the game got uninspiring reviews upon release. However, I think these people didn't see this game's true value. There's more here than meets the eye, in some ways. Alright, let's first talk about the sports themselves. In most games with multiple sports included, the sports themselves aren't necessarily shallow, but don't have a ton of depth in them for stuff like advanced strategies. Mario Sports Mix is most games. You can play each game in either a 2v2 or 3v3 format, but that doesn't change too much. Each game follows the normal rules of each sport, with the special Mario twist on it. There are items that you can use on either the ball or puck, which will give it a wacky effect when you use it, like a banana making a shot curve and whoever it hits slips and falls. Or you can use it as a normal item, like a red shell will lock onto an opponent and hit them, stunning them, normal stuff. The sports themselves aren't really too deep. In basketball, you time your jump shot to give it the best chance to go in, or in volleyball, you aim the ball when you spike it so the opponents can't hit it, or in hockey, you charge your shot to make it go faster. The items do add a bit of flair into the game, as you have to use them strategically to either knock opponents out of your way or knock coins out of them. Wait, coins? Yeah, in each game you can collect coins that will increase your score by 1 point for each coin you have once you score. So if you score a point in volleyball and have 3 coins, instead of scoring just 1 point, you can score 4 points. This adds a level of depth to the game, because you might want to go out of your way to collect coins while playing, while also balancing between the actual sport and preventing the other team from scoring. It's a delicate balance, and it's something players have to strategize around. Each character also has a unique special that will in some way try to disrupt opponents from preventing you from scoring. Yes, you can shoot a half-court shot in basketball if you have your special, and it will always go in unless the opponent blocks it. You build it up using your meter, which you get from playing the game, which isn't too hard. You have to use them strategically, and they can be quite difficult to outplay. So yeah, each sport only has items, coins, and specials. That's all that really makes them unique over the average Joe sports game you'd find in the bargain bin. But you might have noticed I haven't mentioned the most unique sport in the game, dodgeball, because well, it's just different. Dodgeball, although it is the most random game in the sports included, is actually the one with the most depth. It plays like normal dodgeball, but if you get knocked out, you aren't completely out. You go over to the opponent's side in the out zone, and if you hit someone while you're there, you can get back into the game, albeit with you only being able to take 1 hit. It's surprisingly incredibly fun. It's definitely the deepest sport within the game, but it doesn't reach the level of anything like Mario Strikers. Far from it. Still, it's pretty fun and a welcome addition to the game. I don't know why Square Enix decided this was the perfect game to add to the collection, but I'll take it. Alright guys, what is the last game we should add to Mario Sports Mix? I don't know, boss. Watch out! Oh. I'm sorry, boss. My brother, you're a genius. Overall, all of the sports are pretty fun, but definitely lack the depth that a lot of players wanted. I get that complaint. It definitely can get tiring for some players playing the same thing over and over. Personally, I enjoyed it for even long sessions, but I get why some would get tired of it. However, this game has a lot of things in it that we took for granted at the time. First, let's take a look at the stages. Each game has a total of 12 stages to play on, with each one besides Mario Stadium having some kind of gimmick. These stages genuinely are pretty fun to play, and although I had my favorites like Starship and Waluigi Pinball, each of them are solid. They also ooze with a ton of charm, and each of the themes are great. Depending on the mode, you can't play 2 of the stages that they excluded. Usually it's because they wouldn't translate that well into a sport, like Toad Park's gimmick of cones blocking the way wouldn't translate that well to volleyball or basketball. I do personally wish that all of the maps were playable in all modes, but if we're only missing 2 from each sport, then I'll take it if each of the maps are good. Comparatively to Mario sports games today, even having a different court is a huge step up. But for each of the stages to be good and have unique gimmicks, and for there to be 12 different maps for each sport is something that feels so far away. Even if they overlap for most sports, I think the gimmicks are unique enough for each sport for them not to get tiring. Another thing we've taken for granted was a good character roster. The roster starts out initially as 12 characters plus Mii's, however you can unlock 6 Final Fantasy characters. I remember when I was young, these were the coolest characters to unlock. I hadn't ever seen them before. Moogle is still one of the greatest characters in history, you cannot argue with me. Also, these are all available to unlock from launch, instead of waiting months to unlock them. There are extra modes to play, although I will say I did not play these as much as the main game. They are decently fun, and all 4 modes are based on mechanics present in one of the 4 sports. However, I don't have as many fond memories of this mode as the main game. Smash Skate is the one I remember the most. It's kind of like bumper balls, but it uses the hockey mechanics from this game instead of rolling on bouncy balls. The rest of the games are also a fun way to change it up, but I wouldn't play these for hours like I did the main modes. Regardless though, much like the roster and stages, these things have been taken for granted, and we didn't realize how much we needed these in our modern Mario sports games. Now that the quality of these things are lower, or just not there at all, we truly do feel the void that they leave. However, I haven't even mentioned the best part of the game, and it's crazily enough an offline mode. Let me welcome you to the tournament mode. On the surface, this just looks like a normal tournament mode. You play 3 matches against opponents and you win the cup, like some simple side mode. However, if you go back into the tournament after winning your first match, you might notice something a bit odd. Woo! We won our first tournament match. Who's that guy over there? Well, that guy looks trustworthy. Let's follow him. Where the frick are we? Why are we in the middle of nowhere? So yeah, there are secret paths for each of the cups. These act as a sort of secret challenge mode in this game. Rather than just playing normal games, you might run into a team that only has bananas as the available items, or it might ask you to do a certain task multiple times within a time limit, like steal a ball. Honestly, this is where most of my playtime was spent in the game. The challenges are super unique and are different from everything else in the game. The greatest of these is Star Road and the Star Cup for each game. This is the longest secret route in the game, and you have to win the most challenge matches out of all of the secret routes to beat it. Beating it is also the only way for you to unlock Ninja, and is the easiest way to unlock White and Black Mage without following a guide. I do wish that once you beat the challenges, you were able to play them outside the secret routes. However, there is no dedicated challenge mode in the game, and the only way to access the challenges are to play them on the routes. It's not that hard to access the challenge mode, you just have to play one normal match and then choose the secret route, but the challenges are randomized, so if you want to play a specific challenge, you're out of luck. However, this is something that they never had to add, but they still did, and it's one of the coolest side things you can do in any sports game in my opinion. Just going away from what felt like was the only thing the game wanted you to see to a secret area was so cool. You can unlock alternate colors and outfits for some characters by doing this too, although you can unlock all of the outfits in the secret route through other means, it's just a quicker way to unlock them. This 100% is why I rate the game as highly as I do. This mode is just so cool to play through each time, and you can even play through it with friends since the tournament mode is co-op as well. If you haven't tried doing that before, I would highly recommend it. Alright, I think that's about it for this game. I don't think there's really much more to talk about, but I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh wait, yeah, this purple object just reminded me of that purple looking monster thing in this game that acts as a raid boss. There was a raid boss in this game? Yes, as if this game couldn't get any more wacky, there is a raid boss in this game. After you beat all 4 sports in the Star Cup, instead of winning the cup, you get transported to this weird land where Behemoth has just been chilling. You then have to beat Behemoth with your team using the power of all 4 sports in Mario Sports Mix. No, I'm not joking. You can use a hockey check for up close damage, use your dodging skills from dodgeball, volley a meteor using your volleyball skills, and dunk the meteor using your basketball skills by using your special. If this sounds stupid, it's because it is. However, for some reason it actually works pretty well. I mean, it's not the best boss fight I've ever fought, but it's genuinely pretty fun. All of the mechanics feel natural and don't feel bad to use. Obviously, it's a bit janky at some points because it'd be hard not to be given the concept, but there is nothing here that makes this boss fight feel bad to fight. As a kid who never played Final Fantasy, fighting and beating Behemoth was the coolest thing ever. I did it over and over, and it always felt satisfying to beat. I'm genuinely shocked that this made it into the game. It feels like the developers nowadays would never put something so out of the ordinary into the game, and I'm even more shocked that it's actually a good boss fight given the circumstances. Mario Sports Mix is not a perfect game, nor is it the best sports game on the system. However, I feel like people unfairly blame this game for the beginning of the downfall of Mario sports games. I admit that this game is not the deepest game in terms of mechanics, especially compared to other games on the system, but that doesn't inherently make it bad. Compared to the other Mario sports games on the system though, I feel like this one is the easiest for anyone to pick up and play. Mario Strikers Charge is mechanically very deep, Mario Super Sluggers has stuff like the chemistry system, Mario Power Tennis was personally confusing for me as a child and it never controlled that great for me. Mario Sports Mix has no super deep mechanics, and what you see is mostly what you get. That makes it an easy choice for me to recommend this to more casual players. Does this game have some pitfalls and problems that I wish would have been fixed? Absolutely. No standalone challenge mode and meh extra games are two pretty large drawbacks to this package. Also, making the gameplay loop more rewarding by making the games a bit more in-depth mechanically could have added value so it appealed to people outside of casuals. However, this game does contain things that we took for granted as mentioned earlier, like a full character roster and fun and unique original stages. So yes, I get people's complaints with this game. This game does deserve criticism, but it wasn't the start of the downfall of the Mario Sports series. That started in the Wii U era with stuff like Mario Tennis Ultra Smash. And honestly, Nintendo could really take some tips from this game. This game oozes with charm, and that's something that modern Mario Sports games lack a lot of. It's crazy that Square Enix could do it better than Nintendo 10 years later. So if this game in any way interests you, I would highly recommend picking it up. It's not going to be the best sports game you'll ever play, but it's a lot of fun with friends, and you can find it for relatively cheap on eBay in game collections that people want to get rid of. And if you have a more casual gamer or maybe a younger sibling, this game is way more approachable for them, so it might be a good choice. Well, that's it. Thank you for listening to me ramble about a game that no one else cared to defend. Now let's see how they're taking this. Well, there's always next time.